everyone, this is Allison, and you're listening to the Seasonal Flowers Podcast number 1. With this podcast, we'll be discussing the different types of flowers that are available for each season, and we'll talk about how to plant and care for different ones each week. With this podcast, we'll be discussing the different types of flowers that are available for each season, and we'll talk about how to plant and care for different ones each week. Since we're currently in the spring season, today we'll be discussing some flowers that can thrive and bloom in the springtime. Some flowers that can be planted in the spring are hydrangeas and hyacinths. If you want to plant hydrangeas, the best time to do it is in the fall or early spring, and you want to make sure that they have some shade during the day because high volumes of sun could damage the blooms on top. If they are planted in the summer, they will need plenty of water to help get their roots established in the soil, and you want to water them at least once a week or more. Where you plant them could also determine the color of the blooms that you get because ground soil has a pH balance in it that affects the color of the hydrangea blooms. This can happen with other flowers as well. So on your property, if you plant some hydrangeas, you could have some light blue hydrangeas on one end, and then on the other end of your property, you could have some dark purple ones. It all depends upon the pH balance of your soil. Just like any other outdoor foliage, hydrangeas are susceptible to frost, and this can happen during the early spring when they are starting to bloom. One sign of a hydrangea that's been hit by frost is dark-colored, shriveled leaves. To try and prevent this, you can water it in advance of a predicted frost, or you can try to cover the flower with a large cloth or garbage bag. Results can vary on these methods, though. The last flower today are hyacinths. Hyacinths are another spring flower that can come in few colors. Some of the most common colors are purple, pink, and white. Hyacinths are planted in the fall about 4 weeks before winter really sets in. To plant them, you want to work the dirt and place the bulbs down 6 or 8 inches deep, and spread them a few inches apart if you're going to plant many. You will want to give it a good amount of water, especially on hot, dry summer days. One characteristic of the hyacinth is that it is a very fragrant flower once it really blooms. So if you're allergic or just sensitive to strong fragrant smells, this might not be the best houseplant for you. All of these plants are perennials, which means they will come back every year unless something happens to them in between. For all of your flowers, you can use nutrients such as compost to enhance the soil and some fertilizers to strengthen the flowers as well. This has been Allison for the Seasonal Flowers Podcast. We'll see you next week for number 2.